I, 34M. Never thought I'd be writing this post, but here I am, trying to process everything that's happened over the past few months. My wife, Sarah, 31F, and I have been married for 6 years. No kids, which I guess is a blessing now given how things turned out. This whole nightmare started about 8 months ago, though I only pieced it together recently. Sarah works downtown as a marketing consultant, and I am in software development, mostly working from home. We live in the suburbs, about a 45-minute drive from her office. She always taken the train, but last year she started using Uber more frequently. She said the train schedule had gotten unreliable and she needed more flexibility with her hours. I didn't think anything of it at first. Made sense, right? She was getting promoted, taking on bigger clients, working later. The Uber receipts on our shared credit card seemed reasonable, maybe 3 or 4 rides a week. Around February, I noticed she was on her phone more than usual, texting constantly, smiling at her screen. When I asked who she was talking to, she say it was her coworker, Jessica, or her sister. Normal stuff. I had no reason to doubt her. Then the late nights started. She texted me saying she had to stay late for client meetings or team dinners. Sometimes she wouldn't get home until 10 or 11 p.m. Again, with the promotion, it seemed plausible. I was proud of her, actually. Proud that she was advancing in her career. The Uber charges increased too. Now she was taking 5, 6 rides a day sometimes. When I asked about it, she got defensive. Said she was traveling between client sites, meeting vendors, going to lunch meetings. She accused me of monitoring her spending, which made me feel guilty for even bringing it up. By April, something felt off, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Sarah had become distant. The intimacy in our marriage had dropped off dramatically. We went from having sex regularly to maybe once every 3 weeks, and even then she seemed distracted, like she was going through the motions. She started dressing differently too. New lingerie that I never saw her wear at home. Expensive perfume. She was hitting the gym more, which she claimed was for stress relief. She looked great, honestly, but none of it seemed to be for me. One evening in late April, I decided to surprise her at work with dinner from her favorite restaurant. I hadn't told her I was coming. I thought it would be romantic. When I got to her office building around 7 p.m., the receptionist told me Sarah had left at 5:30. My stomach dropped. She texted me at 6:45 saying she'd be stuck in meetings until at least 9. I called her. She answered after 4 rings, sounding breathless. "Hey babe, I am in the middle of this client presentation, can I call you back?" I could hear music in the background. Not office music, like bar music. "Sure," I said, my throat tight. "No problem." She didn't call back that night. When she got home at 10:30, I asked her how the presentation went. She launched into this elaborate story about the client, the negotiations, how exhausting it all was. She was so detailed, so convincing. I almost believed her. Almost. That's when I started paying closer attention. I began checking the Uber receipts more carefully. That's when I noticed something strange. The same driver kept showing up. Marcus R. 4, 5 times a week. Sometimes multiple rides in a day, but always Marcus. I am not a naturally suspicious person, but once I noticed the pattern with Marcus, I couldn't unsee it. I started taking screenshots of the receipts. The rides with Marcus were always longer routes, more expensive. Sometimes they start at her office but end at addresses I didn't recognize. Other times they pick her up from random locations across the city. One receipt really caught my attention. A ride that started at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday and lasted nearly 3 hours. The charge was $180. According to the route, they driven out to a state park about an hour away, stayed there for a while, then come back to a hotel near the airport. When I asked Sarah about that day, she didn't even hesitate. "Oh, that was the site visit for the Henderson account. We needed to scout locations for their corporate retreat. Took forever because traffic was terrible. She was so smooth with it. So prepared. That's when I realized she'd been lying for so long that it had become second nature. I did something I am not proud of. I created a fake Uber account and started requesting rides in her area at times when I knew she'd be working late. I wanted to see if I could match with Marcus, see what kind of guy he was. It took me 3 tries over 2 weeks, but finally, one Thursday evening, Marcus accepted my ride request. He pulled up in a black Toyota Camry, mid-30s, fit, with this cocky smile. Handsome, I guess, if you into that smooth-talking type. We made small talk during the ride. He mentioned he'd been driving for Uber for about 2 years, did it full-time. Said he had a lot of regular clients who requested him specifically. Yeah, I said, keeping my voice casual. How does that work? I didn't know you could request specific drivers. Oh, you can through the app, he said, glancing at me in the rearview mirror. But some of my clients have my personal number. They just text me directly when they need a ride, and I'll come get them. Better for both of us. They get reliable service, I get consistent business. After that ride with Marcus, I couldn't sleep. Sarah had his personal number. I was sure of it now. All those rides, all those late nights, they weren't just coincidental. She was calling him directly. I needed proof before I confronted her. I am not the type to make accusations without evidence. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I checked her phone. She gotten sloppy, or maybe she just didn't think I'd ever look. Her passcode was the same as always, our anniversary date. I waited until she was in the shower one Saturday morning and opened her messages. There was no contact saved as Marcus. Smart, but there was a number with no name attached, just a phone number. The message thread made me physically sick. Hundreds of texts, going back months. Can wait to see you today, baby. Last night was incredible. I am addicted to you. My husband is working from home. Can you pick me up from the corner instead? And the photos. God, the photos. Her in lingerie I'd never seen. Selfies in his car. One of them kissing in what looked like a parking garage. I sat there on our bed, hands shaking, scrolling through months of betrayal. The shower was still running. I took photos of everything with my own phone, screenshots, videos of me scrolling through the conversations. Evidence. Then I saw the messages from just 2 days ago. Sarah. Thursday, same place as last time? Marcus. You know it. 3 p.m. Don't be late. I've been thinking about you all week. Sarah. I'll tell him I have a client meeting. He never questions it anymore, lol. That, lol, broke something in me. She was laughing about deceiving me. I put her phone back exactly where I found it and walked out of the bedroom. I couldn't look at her when she came out of the bathroom, smiling, asking what I wanted for breakfast. Thursday. I had 2 days to figure out what to do. Those 2 days were the longest of my life. I had to act normal around Sarah while my mind was racing. Every time she touched me, smiled at me, kissed me goodbye, it all felt like poison. She had no idea I knew. She just went about her routine, lying effortlessly. Tuesday night, she was texting Marcus right in front of me while we watched TV. I could see her smiling at her phone. When I asked what was so funny, she said, "Oh, just a meme Jessica sent me." I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab the phone and throw it against the wall. But I didn't. I just nodded and went back to pretending to watch whatever show was on. Wednesday, I told my boss I needed to take Thursday afternoon off for a personal matter. He didn't ask questions. I spent Wednesday night barely sleeping, lying next to a woman I no longer recognized. Thursday morning, Sarah was almost giddy. She spent extra time on her makeup, wore a new dress I'd never seen before, black, fitted, with a low neckline. She claimed she had an important presentation with a potential client. "Wish me luck," she said, kissing my cheek before heading out the door. Good luck, I said, tasting bile. At 2:30 p.m., I got in my car and drove to the location from their text messages. A parking lot behind a closed shopping complex on the east side of town. Secluded, barely any traffic. Perfect for what they were doing. I parked across the street where I had a clear view but wouldn't be easily spotted. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. Part of me hoped I was wrong, that I misunderstood everything, that there was some innocent explanation. At 2:55 p.m., the black Toyota Camry pulled into the lot. At 3:02 p.m., another car arrived, Sarah's red Honda Civic. She parked next to him. I watched her get out, look around nervously, then walked to his car. She opened the back door and got in. For a moment, nothing happened. They were just talking, I thought. Maybe they really are just friends. Maybe I am paranoid. Then the car started rocking. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a lesson so that this doesn't happen to you. I would appreciate your likes. Also, don't forget to subscribe and comment on the video. See you soon.